and then they open up.
And that was the one that was used before. Was it? He's the kind of guy that could have a plan like that.
After a year, 2 years putting this thing together, so this is great. And it's very special because you all are here. You really have yourselves to thank, and we're just thrilled that you're here, and it's a great turnout, and we have some beautiful Healeys, and I'm just going nuts. I can't believe myself. This is going on, and I can't sleep at night, and we'll see how long that...
That's true.
You're not the only one.
Anyway, by the way, if you wish to blame somebody for all this, it's my wife's fault.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 years ago, she bought a ticket to Australia, and because of that ticket, and maybe one or two many beers in a paddock, the idea started, and it just snowballed, and we went from there. We ran as fast as we could to keep up. But we do have, it wasn't just us. There were just virtually everybody under this tent has contributed somehow in some way. We do have some people to thank tonight. I can't possibly thank everybody, but I would like to single some out. If I didn't single you out, it's not because you know, you didn't do something. It's just that we can't cover everybody. First of all, I'd like is the sports car service crowd here? Bill Dredge?
No,
Bill Dredge is fixing your car tonight, isn't he?
no.
No?
Fixing somebody else.
Oh, fixing somebody else. Okay. Okay.
It's not fixable for a while.
He was our very first sponsor, and he was the very first sponsor that said, basically came and said, Jeff, what do you need? And I says, I need a little money to prime the pump, and that's what he did. So that was great. Also, foreign tune I'd like to recognize. Tom and Kay have done a fabulous job standing behind this. Where are you at? I don't see you. Okay, right there. There's Tom. Tom? Hey, Tom. Okay. Kay has been on the phone almost nonstop for every day and trying to put this together. This tent is because of her and the Wisconsin Club's efforts. And it came in more handier than we thought it would be. So we're very pleased that they provided this. And of course, the reception that you're enjoying tonight. Carl Jensen, Jack Worley, and the SVR staff, where are you at? Can you throw your hands up? There you are, Jack. Jack, a year ago, and I sat up in that paddock, and Mike Giganti from Australia was also with us. And Jack we were discussing how we could do this, and Jack was asking about modifications, and Mike Giganti was saying not to worry, we don't have modifications, we only drive our cars on Sunday to see Grandma. and Jack says, okay, come, you know. So, but no, Jack and SVRA, I gotta say, supported this from the very beginning, and there's no way it could have been done without their support. I didn't know what I was doing. Anytime I got stuck, I would call Jack or Carl, and they would bend over backwards helping us through some of the issues. And we owe a great debt to SVRA, which is a phenomenal vintage race group. So thanks very much, SVRA. Okay, we have one very, very special person here tonight that we must thank. This individual worked very hard on this. She's one of these individuals that has already too much on her plate, and she won't say no, and she'll take another project on, and she will work herself to death. And we owe a great debt of gratitude to Liz Statter, right here. She's on. Liz did a phenomenal job with the website. I would email things to her that were, you know, just slammed together, and she would straighten it out and correct it. And I don't know if Rich, her husband, ever got to see her for days on end, but we greatly appreciate your efforts.
Thanks, Jeff. I've had a good time.
Thanks. Let me see here. Got my cheat sheet here. I gotta look at it here. Oh, we had a couple hard luck racers today, and we have Jeff Leake, who lost a flywheel in his 104 from Australia, and we had John Langerfeld that lost the rear end of his car in the kink. And so we're starting a tradition. It's called Pass the Funnel. Okay? Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, okay.
Chevy power doesn't work. Stick to the motor.
If everybody throws a
It was a Holden motor. Sorry, it was a Holden motor.
Oh, yeah.
Good sign.
So here's what happened. We passed the funnel. You get in there, dig in there, and get that $5, $10 bill, and we're going to split it up between the hard luck racers. Okay. Does that work for everybody? Okay. All right. Oh, that wasn't very enthusiastic. Okay.
We need a bigger funnel.
Okay. Somebody get a big funnel. I would like at this time to introduce the Australians, if I could. I hope you're all here. Let me see. Okay, Rob Rowland, stick your hand up. He's the proprietor of the Healey factory. His lovely wife Marissa somewhere. Where you at, Marissa?
Over here.
Yes, all right. We have Tim Pine. Tim. Where's Gail at? Gail's over here. Gail Marshall. Okay. Let me see. What else we got? Oh, Jessica. Is Jeff Leake still on the 100th floor? Right here. Oh, Jeff. There's Jeff Leake. Where's Wandy at?
I'm over with the food.
Oh, here we got Doug Kay. Okay, Don. Okay, where are we at? Somebody stick your hand in. Oh, Wendy Gibbs. There's Wendy Gibbs. She claims she's no relation to the Gibbs brothers, and she says you don't want to hear her sing. Okay. Is that Ian? Where's Ian at? Oh, there's Ian. There's Ian, her husband. Oh. Okay. Here's John Moore over here. And Kara McCray. Okay, who'd I miss? Where are we at? John Rowe. John Rowe, there you are, John. Okay. Okay, we got Bruce. Bruce Miles over here. All right, Bruce. Yeah. Okay, did I miss him? I know I have.
Ashby?
Oh, Peter Jackson, where you at? There you are, Peter. Okay. Oh, John. Wow, where you at, John? Where's John Ashby? John Ashby's here somewhere. Yeah? Where's John Ashby? John and Lois. Anyway, John Ashby drives a beautiful 100S.
He waked up my arm.
You the Moors?
Oh, John Moore, where you at? No, I didn't. Okay. Did we get everybody? Just a couple other things. Bert Levy has, wait a minute, Bert's got just a couple words he'd like to say, and then I got a couple. Okay, Vintage Motorsport supported us, all right. Okay, Bert's gonna say a couple things.
I never said 2 words in my life. I was lucky enough to be able to cover the last Healey Challenge when those other people that couldn't speak English right came over here. And I walked in today, and here's a flywheel and some sheared-off bolts laying on a bench. This is Friday morning. And this evening I come in and here's all these people drinking and eating food and making friends. It's like I've never been away. Welcome to all the Australian Healey guys. Each one of the drivers are welcome to take one of my books back as a welcome gift. We're so happy to have you. Just stop by sometime during the weekend. We'll have it here. And I hope we beat you bloody on the track.
By the way, I checked the odds in Las Vegas, and the odds are 3-1 that the Aussies are going to kick our butts. Are we going to let that happen? Okay, well, we got to work on that tomorrow, you guys, okay? All right. Yeah, but,
They will because they listen to me.
oh, no! They got Doc in their paddock. I can't believe it. All right. One thing, another person we got to recognize. Another person we got to recognize. We got this entry a few weeks ago, and we were reviewing it. And I was discussing with Carol, and Carol says we got to do something for this individual. So Carol had a special plaque commissioned, and I think you will agree when I talk about this individual. We have to admire him because he drove his race Healey 2,000 miles in the rain, in the snow, in the sleet, pulling a trailer with his race spares on it. He got here, unbuckled the trailer, put his race tires on, went out, did a fabulous job. When it's all done this weekend, he's going to load it all back up. He's going to head back to Washington, 2,000 miles. We won't see him again. Unfortunately, we will be thinking of him. We want to give him something that he will remember us by because we think he's a phenomenal guy for doing what he's done. He was sleeping in the tent out here, not complaining. I was sleeping in the RV complaining over the cold night. And so is Dave Phillips here? You bet. All right. Congratulations! Wow. So we admire what you've done. We all wish we were you. Sometimes.
I don't know what to say except thank you. Wow.
You're welcome.
No anticipation of this at all. None whatsoever.
Well,
I'll continue my request though. Please give us some dry track.
Okay.
That's all I want.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Let's drive fast. Let's drive safe. Let's have fun and let the racing begin. My name's Jeff Junk. I am one of the U.S. Participants in the Australian-U.S. Healey Challenge. I guess when it came to organizing this event, I was the guy on the hot seat, or everybody else took 3 steps backwards or something. I'm not sure how that all happened. But anyway, a couple years ago, I was down in Australia. I had the great privilege, privilege of going to Tasmania, watching a number of these drivers race down there. I was very impressed with their driving ability. I am even more impressed today. Out there with the track with them this morning, they're just awesome in their driving ability. They have excellent machinery, beautiful Healeys, which hopefully you'll see a little later on this tape. It kind of just started in the, we were talking in the lounge after a race, and somebody brought up, we'd like to come to the United States and do a little racing, and would you go back and work on some logistics, which is what I did. We sent a little email out stating showing what we had found and what we could do, and it snowballed from there. We just ran as hard as we could to keep up. We have somewhere in the neighborhood, it's my understanding, between 40 and 50 race Healeys here at Road America this weekend. We're going to go to Summit Point next weekend. We have a break where many of the Australian drivers are going to go and watch the Indianapolis 500. After that, we go to one of my favorite tracks, VIR. Then we go to Watkins Glen, and we finish racing at Mid-Ohio. And then we have Conclave in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where we'll present some trophies and awards down there. I'd like, if I could, to start off introducing some of the Australian drivers, and we'll go from there. First, we have Jeff Leake. Jeff is between Melbourne and Sydney, so it's a strange place. He has to decide where he actually lives. And what's the name of the town?
Bundalong.
Bungalow, yeah.
Bundalong, yeah, a little country town.
Is it?
265 people.
Well, you know, that's bigger than the town I grew up in. It was 50 counting the dogs and cats. Jeff races a beautiful 104. He's very, very quick in that car, and having a bit of sorting problems with some of the drivetrain this weekend, so we're going to let him run back to that, but hopefully you'll see his car in a bit. Thanks, Jeff, for coming over. It's a great privilege having you folks here. So
thank you.
This is Don McKay. Don McKay, you know what? Do you live in Sydney?
In Melbourne.
Oh, you do? Okay, Melbourne. I'm sorry. Don is racing another 104, which is maintained by Jeff Leake, and it's also a very quick car. It's actually gorgeous. It's very original, and everybody should take a good hard look at it. But unfortunately, when Don went out, I didn't see how he was running, but from what I understand, all the Australians are very quick. So, but thanks for coming, Don.
We're looking forward to it, and I just wanted to say that the car is actually, I've borrowed the car from a friend of mine who is in Europe, and there's got to be a lot of trust involved in this, and I think my wife's pretty pissed off because I've come to America without her, so we're coming back again. I'm going home. I've been here for 4 or 5 days. I'm going home on Monday, and coming back again for Watkins Glen. So, and the owner of the car is going to come and see if he's still got a car at that stage. So, well, hopefully it'll all be in one piece.
He's been phoning us after every session and wanting to know if the car is still, together.
And Jeff, why you couldn't see me is because I was so far ahead of you that you couldn't catch me.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. So, but thanks for coming.
And thank you for organising. It's been terrific.
No problem.
Good on you.
Okay, here we have Peter Jackson, who races a very fast, and the reason I know this is because I was behind him this last episode. Very good driver, never put a wheel wrong out there, very good equipment. Beautiful 6-cylinder car. Is that a BJ8?
Yeah.
It is a BJ8. Now you hail from Melbourne too, right?
Sometimes Melbourne, sometimes Sydney. So
Okay.
it depends on the weather.
Now, what I want to know is who maintains you. Who's your mechanic? That's what I want to know.
No, that's a secret.
Oh, yeah. We had secrets we're keeping this
A bush
weekend.
mechanic, lives in the outback.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no kidding.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to find that out before the series is over somehow. We're going to get him getting drunk enough where he reveals secrets, but no, he's got great machinery and he knows how to use it, and it's just a privilege having you here. And his wife, Angeline, and your son, Pierce, is that correct? will join us in just a couple weeks, and we're looking forward to seeing them. So
So am I, actually.
I bet.
I do the washing. Thanks, Jeff, and
Thanks.
thanks very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And I must say, the American people have been just so friendly and so welcoming that I'm just a little reluctant to go too fast. I just don't want to be embarrassing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And come off or something.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good.
Jeff.
Thanks for being
Cheers.
here. Okay.
G'day, Jeff.
Tim Pine. Tim Pine hails from up in the northern part of Australia, right?
It's the best state in Australia. It's
It
called,
is.
It's called Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's usually recognised by the colour of your top.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, Tim has got a absolutely gorgeous BJ8. It is really set up for rallying, but it is making him proud out here on the track. It's a very quick BJ8, and here again, Tim. I was following Tim out there, and Tim was following me, and it's funny. Everybody wanted to follow me out to learn the track, and by the end of the session, I was learning from both Tim and Peter. So, but Tim has got Gail with him, Marshall.
That's great.
And they're just a wonderful couple, and we're glad they could make it. And we'll get some video on his car in a little bit.
It's terrific. Jeff, thank you very much indeed, and I'd like to thank you and your team for the invite. It's thoroughly enjoyable.
You're welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
Glad you could come. We have Wendy Gibbs. Now, I want you to know Wendy Gibbs drives a Sprite, and from what I can see, it's on two wheels most of the time. She knows how to drive this car, and she is just driving the wheels off, and we are thrilled Wendy is here. Now Wendy, I like to say, early on, I emailed her to ask if she was related to the Gibbs brothers, and she said no, but she'd like to have their money.
Yeah.
So if they see this video and they want to send some money,
Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on, bring it on. But Wendy drives a very fast square body Sprite prepared by her husband Ian, and we're just thrilled that Wendy could make it. So thank you for coming, Wendy.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the Austin Healey Clubs of America. It's just been brilliant. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay. All right, Bruce Miles is from Sydney, and Bruce also races a square body Sprite. What's interesting about Bruce, I think did everything in the world to finagle his boss to get that 7 weeks that was required, and he was explaining what he had to go through to do the challenge, and we're just thrilled that he's here. At the very last minute, he was assembling equipment, and one of the very last that was able to make it on the boat to get over here. And we're thrilled he's here. He actually bought a new helmet, sent it to my place, and we made sure he's raring to go. We're just thrilled that Bruce is here. He's a great guy to know. Bruce is the guy.
Now, Jeff.
Yeah, no, Bruce is the guy. When I want to just sit back and have a good brew, Bruce is the guy I look forward to meeting. So anyway, Bruce, thanks for coming.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. We're constantly surprised that people keep thanking us for coming, whereas we're just really stoked to be here, and we're very glad to be here, and we're extremely appreciative you've organised it, Jeff, and for everybody for being so welcoming. So it's
Glad you
look
could be
forward
here.
to seeing you out there. Thank you.
Good. Next we have John Moore. John Moore actually hails from Melbourne, I believe,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
And John races John is a very smooth driver. That's the first thing I noticed when he took the track. And as most people know, smooth drivers can be very, very quick, and John is. And he's got a car that he rallies in. What's interesting about the Australians is they do a lot of rallying. One weekend, the next weekend they'll go road racing. And John's car is very what I call traditionally set up to do both. And I've been over there actually studying it because he's got some very keen ideas, and I'm stealing some of them. So, John, it's great that you're here.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a good time while you're here, and just enjoy the racing, if you
I
would.
plan to, and like everyone else has said, I just want to reiterate and thank you very much and your crew that have put all this together to enable us to come over and enjoy. Well, if this is a taste of what your circuits are like, I don't think you'll keep us away. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, John.
That's brilliant.
Thanks. Here, can I stop a minute? My mouth is going dry. Is that possible?
Take it anyway.
Yeah, I'll take it anyway. Okay. Next we have John Ashby, and John races a very original and gorgeous 100S, And John can park his 100S in my garage anytime he wants, just as long as he leaves the keys, you know. But no, it's absolutely gorgeous. I was so upset when the cars came over. The only car that got scratched was John's 100S, but fortunately it was on the roll bar, so it didn't mar the original bodywork or anything like that. We're just thrilled that John could join us and his wife Lois. And where are you from?
Well, you'll find something interesting. I don't have an Australian accent because I'm from Indiana originally. But I've been living in Australia for the last 10 years and started racing down there a couple years ago. And I used to come to these tracks when I was a kid, so it's a great opportunity for me to come back and actually drive on one that all I did was look at when I was much younger. So
fabulous.
So this is a great event. We really appreciate the whole thing.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And bringing your beautiful 100S. Next we have John Moore.
John Rowe?
Or John Rowe, I'm sorry. I apologize, John Rowe. John Rowe hails from Perth, which is westernmost most part of Australia. His car is very streetable. And in fact, when he first came over to the States, he spent a couple days just driving around Minneapolis, visiting some of the stores and whatnot. And I think it was a real eye-opener for some of the people traveling down the interstate, seeing a very original Austin Healey. What's interesting about this car is it looks very original, but when it gets on the track, it's very quick, and John also knows how to race this car. It's a great privilege to have at least one person from Perth, and we're just thrilled that you could come and enjoy the racing and the events with us, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, but I'd also like to thank you and your team over here for the effort you put in. It's really great.
No problem. Thank you for coming again. Now this guy, Rob Rowland, he's here. Let me shake your hand. He's the guy that bought all the beers in the paddock and on the boat in the lounge down in Tasmania. And
I coerced you into volunteering to do this.
That's right. He was the instigator in all this. So Rob and his wife Marissa are proprietors of the Healey factory, which is well known not only in Australia but around the world for their quality work in restoring Healeys. And it was stunning. When I visited their factory, their showroom must at least contain 100 gorgeous historic cars that they restored. It's a stunning place. If you're ever in Melbourne, it is well worth the effort just to travel to Melbourne to see the Healey factory. Rob's claim to fame when he races is that he races on wire wheels, Dayton wire wheels, and he totally shatters the myth that wire wheels you know are not fast. That's not true if you watch Rob race. And he's stunningly fast. He races with bumpers. The car must weigh 2,800 pounds with all the gear he's got in it, but he is amazingly quick, and he's going to be one of the fellas that the U.S. guys are going to look to beat. In fact, we've already kind of got a target painted on the trunk lid of his or I should say boot of his Healey. He races a 106.
That's right.
And it's a gorgeous car. But thanks for coming, Rob, and
Thank you, Jeff.
we enjoy having you.
At the risk of repeating what everybody else has said, we're all here to have fun. I know there's going to be a spirit of competition, which is somewhere going to come into the equation, but we're basically honoured to be here. We've come to have fun. If everybody else enjoys watching us, well, that's their bonus. And we're thrilled to have so many spectators actually keen on Healeys, the Healey fraternity that have turned up with their road cars and are waving from the fences are part of what the thrill for us is, to actually compete in front of Healey aficionado. It's fantastic.
Well, we're thrilled you're here, and I would suspect that the Healey Club's cars that are here, they wouldn't miss this for the world, and you are the reason they're here. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you, Jeff.
Now, I think we're missing one driver. Is Paul Freestone? Did we? Paul? Oops. Last we have Paul Freestone, who is here with his wife Christine, and Paul races a very, very pretty red Healey with a red hardtop. It's just absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Here again, Paul, you do a lot of rallying too in Australia, is that right?
Yeah, WAP7 itself is just a bit of history on the car. It's originally from England. It's done all the Liege and the RAC rallies in England, and was prepared by the Healey factory, not as a factory car, but was prepared as a factory car. ended up in Connecticut in the early 70s. Never was used. It was hidden in a barn, and we brought the car about 10 years ago, and it's done 8 Targa Tasmanians, Classic Adelaide. It's been on a podium twice. I think it won Classic Adelaide on handicap the first year, and it did the St Moritz Rally last year, and of course here again. To have this series. So, but yeah, we do Porsche Super Cup or Carrera Cup, as it's called. There's a full series in Australia, which is 10 races, and it's a pretty busy year for this year. I think there's 21 events.
Wow.
I think we've got 5 weekends in a row, 1 weekend, and another 3, I think, of racing. When we leave Washington, we're back to Australia to race at Eastern Creek in Sydney, and home for a week, and then back to America to do the 3 last rounds. So,
now, Christine's your navigator, is that correct?
Yes, very good too.
I don't know how he does it. I did a rally once with my wife, and she said if we're going to do this again, we have to get divorced. So, but it's just, Paul is a fabulous competitor, and his reputation preceded him before he came to the States, and he was actually a little bit late getting here because you were trying to get the last rally in, if I understand that correctly.
Well, we finished Targa Tasmania and got home on Tuesday, flew to Perth, which is in Western Australia, raced the Carrera Cup, and we got home 1 a.m. Monday morning, and Thursday morning we flew here and got here about midnight on Thursday night. So yeah,
fabulous.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
We greatly appreciate the fact you made the effort to be with us for the next 7 weeks, and we just enjoy the fact that you made the effort.
Well, and thanks for everyone in America. The fellowship's fantastic, and a great effort, Jeff. You and your team have put together, and let's have good racing.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
My name's Wendy Gibbs. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and this is my car, Esme. She's named after a television character, Esme Watson of A Country Practice, which only Australians will get. She doesn't look much, but she's got a good heart. She runs a 1275cc engine, and she's actually my road car as well as my race car and my rally car. She's just a little beauty. We've owned her since about 1981, just after we got married. My husband Ian does all the mechanicals for me, or follows through with them, and he set it up beautifully. She's very easy to drive, she turns in very well into corners, and she hangs on, which is a little bit important around this Road America circuit.
How do you like the track, racing Road America?
The track here at Road America, this is the first time we've had a dry circuit. For the yesterday was raining and cold and wet, and it was awful, and it was very slippery out there. Today it's dry-ish. Coming through the kink is rather exciting when you're a little bit offline, but yes, we've been instructed by Mr. Duck Waddle, so we've got a little bit of an idea on which way to go, and it's just absolutely brilliant. Really fabulous driving out here, fabulous. Having an excellent time. The Healey people here are just so friendly and wonderful. They've just gone out of their way to do everything for us. It's just great. Thank you.
Now there's a
G'day, my name's Tim Pine and I'm from Brisbane in Australia. It's really great to be here in America. My car, which I'm standing next to, which we commonly call 9GO due to the first 3 digits in the registration plate. So you'll probably see us referring to it as 9GO. Apparently, originally it was obviously made in the UK and then shipped out to Seattle where it was originally bought. Believe it or not, it was then found in a farmyard in Texas. And back in late 80s it was then taken to Australia, to the Melbourne factory, where they actually had it in the back paddock, and someone happened to be visiting Road America back in 89 and saw a Austin Healey not dissimilar to this racing against a Cobra. It was his idea at that stage to build a completely new Healey, which is what we've got here, and it's been built up accordingly. At the time this was being built, Pat Moss's rally car was alongside being rebuilt and brought up to speed. So a lot of ex-works or a lot of works ideas were put into this car, and in fact bettered. So we feel that you've got a car here that is far better than ever made at Abingdon. The car itself, since we've had it in '95, is travelled extensively. We mainly do what we call bitumen rallies or targas throughout Europe and throughout Australia. And we've taken it to New Zealand and done the New Zealand Targa there, and we've done 4 in Tasmania where they actually closed down roads, 52 kilometres of road at a time, and you race against the clock as fast as you can. Likewise throughout Australia, it's visited every track, and as we all know, Australia's a fairly sizable continent. We've taken it to Europe and it's participated in the Swiss Alps Rally and through Germany and various rallies, France, Brands Hatch Circuit in UK, Hockenheim Circuit. So the car has been certainly blooded on the world scene. And here we are in America doing 5 or 6 events here, and hopefully going to Scandinavia thereafter. The car itself, if you'd like to have a look at it, we've tried to keep the whole car in the 1960s theme. There's no modern electronic bits and pieces. As you can see, it's all traditional 1960s equipment used for rallying. The car itself has been very, very reliable over the last 10 years that I've had it, constantly being modified with whatever comes out in the marketplace. We basically, due to the logistics within Australia, bearing in mind that we live, as I mentioned earlier on, in Brisbane, and the car is kept at the Healey factory in Melbourne, where we're constantly upgrading and ensuring that it's ready for the next event, which we truck it to and fly in and race it accordingly. Well, I arrived here straight on a plane from Brisbane into LA. I was then told that we had a 6-hour delay in LA before we could get to Chicago due to your gorgeous weather here. Apparently you're having snowstorms or blizzards. We then sat on a plane for 4.5 hours and arrived fairly late in Chicago. We found a hotel on Thursday night and then drove up here on Friday morning. Those of you that have been here are fully aware that it's pretty cold. We left Brisbane and I think it was about 104 Fahrenheit. We got in here and it was about 10. So believe it or not, although I'm standing here today because the sun's out, yesterday I had a sheepskin coat on with a woolly hat. You'd have thought I was skiing. So it's been a bit of a transition from us, especially coming from the tropical part of Australia. But so far, the track, really love it. It's a gorgeous place, Road America. And it's obviously put a smile on my face today because the sun's out. We're not wet weather racers, but today it's been terrific, and the people here that we've met have been absolutely first class. There seems to be a terrific camaraderie between Australians and Americans, which is good to see, and we're looking forward to the next 3 or 4 weeks racing with Americans and enjoying these fantastic circuits that you have out here.
My name is John Rowe. I'm from Perth in Western Australia, which is the furthest westmost part of Australia. And I think that for this meet, I'm probably the person who's come the furthest. I have a 1959 Austin Healey, a 3000, very early 3000. This is car number 11, would you believe? Built in March 1959. The car is very stock. I drive it on the street all the time. I do participate in tarmac rallies in Australia, and the only modifications I've done to it to bring it here to make it race prep car is to put in the fuel cell and to put discs on the back. But as you can see, it's still got its bumper bars on the front and back, because this is the way I drive it around at home. But we're coming here, so of all the types of cars that are here, we have some that are extremely well race prepared and modified to suit, and we have back to mine, which is a nice treatable club car. Does that suit you? It's fantastic driving it over here. We only have a couple of circuits in Australia that are this length, or not even this length, and this topography, but it's great having something that's not quite flat like an airfield. I'm really looking forward to doing the series here. I think it'll be a great buzz for myself, and really I think great to meet all the people. And the local people here are so enthusiastic for the whole event. It's really heartwarming.
I'll give you 90 and 35, yep. 3 posters, 1 shirt, 1 hat. I have this.
Who did you buy one of our hats?
No.
Well, you stinker.
Well, I gotta help them So you want medium and Jeff's large?
Okay, my name's Rob Rowland and I'm from Melbourne in the southern part of Australia. My 1959 106 Healey has been slightly modified, I guess you'd say, for racing. I've owned it for 20-something years and it's gone through a sort of a continual improvement situation. Sometimes it's been a rally car, sometimes it's been the family driving car. It's been to all the Australian Healey national meetings, or one in each of the states, usually with either 2 or 3 kids in the back and a wife in the front. So it really is the multi-purpose good fun car. I have a bit of an advantage in that my business is the Healey factory. The Healey factory being a restoration and Healey specialist service business. And so my good old 106 has become the guinea pig for a few of the modifications and improvements that have been available. I try to keep its appearance as much as an original car as I can. Bumper bars on, wire wheels, that sort of thing. And for no other reason than it makes it look like I'm not trying very hard, and I need a few excuses occasionally. But it does have improved brakes, it does have an improved gearbox, it's albeit that it is an original Healey gearbox, still a side shift, straight cut gears, heavy duty overdrive, that sort of thing. It's got a 3 litre, or fully 3 litre motor with steel crankshaft, good con rods, light and flywheel, etc. It's also got the aluminium cylinder head that's the Australian-made cylinder head made by DMD, and their roller cam and roller rocker gear as well. So it's quite a potent package as far as Healeys go. It's running triple Weber carbies. Getting to the suspension, it's running telescopic shock absorbers instead of or as well as the lever arm shockers. Slightly heavier springs, bigger sway bar and rear anti-tramp rods which is probably more relevant to our standing starts that we have in Australia. We're completely unfamiliar with this rolling start situation, and I guess we'll find out fairly soon how it works, probably as all the Americans blitz us on the start line, but we'll warm to it eventually. But otherwise, the interior is fairly original. It's got the we retrimmed it last year because when our kids were very young, I had the impression that I shouldn't prevent them from doing anything they wanted to in the car within reason. Because I remember as a kid, we used to sort of destroy things that Dad would get upset about. So we left the trim until last, and it's just been done recently. I'm scared to death of getting oil leaks out of the gear lever hole and things like that as it used to do, because it's all nice and clean inside now. We've probably improved this car a little bit at a time, and to the stage where we've now got a nice competitive car that's generally relatively predictable. A good fun thing that Marissa can drive if she wants to go to the shops, without all the stickers and so on as you see at the moment, but it's a road car as well as a rally car as well as a racing car.
John Ashby. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, even though I have an American accent. Originally American. I've lived in Australia for the last 10 years. It's my 100S. I've had it for about 4 years. The car originally came from America. It was sold in San Francisco, as near as we can tell. Later on, it was owned by a fellow in Eugene, Oregon, and had a V8 motor put in it. And a couple people from Australia found it, brought it over, and it's gone through various stages of restoration. Steve Pike in Bacchus Marsh is the guy that takes care of it and has restored it a couple times, I think. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's a little small for me. I'm a fairly tall guy, but it's such an interesting car that I've enjoyed driving it for the last couple of years. I started racing it really in just time trials about 3 years ago, and then I raced it for the first time this year at Phillip Island and now here in the United States. There were only 55 of these cars built. There's about 35 of them still in existence in the world. I think there's around 8 of them still in Australia, and there might have been as many as 12 there at one time. But with the exchange rate the way it was the last few years, several of them were sold into the United States and came back here. When I was a kid growing up in Indiana, I used to come up here to Elkhart Lake to the sports car races, but never had a chance to drive here. So this is kind of a homecoming for me, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Paul Freestone, Melbourne, Australia. It's a 1958 106. We've had it for about 10 or more years, and it's done 8 Targa Tasmanians at about 3 Classic Adelaides. Finished on the podium quite a few times. It is really rally spec, not race course spec. So we have some great rallies in Australia. The car also was in St Moritz last year for that fantastic rally in St Moritz, and we're here to do the 5 races. The car is fully prepared by Rob Rowland and Marissa from the Healey factory in Melbourne. They do all the work on the car and have done since we brought it. For this particular event, after last year we also did Classic Adelaide in November. We put rings and bearings and a clutch in it and a few other bits and pieces, and it's ready to race. So I hope we have a good one. Thank you very much. One of the things you'll notice now with a couple of the Aussie cars, this was the first one in Australia we fitted a full roll cage to, and it took a fair bit of work to do it. Of course, when you're doing a lot of rallying, the last thing you want to do is slide off and catch some fencing or anything like that. So it runs 5-point harnesses for Chris and myself. It's been modified to a centre shift instead of the side shift, and of course it's got the twin master in there, which is in keeping with the era. And the full roll cage, of course, it makes it a lot more stronger, a lot more rigidity. Thank you.
Tell about the engine, like horsepower, projected displacement, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, the engine itself is a genuine 2998cc. It's not a big bore engine. Probably the only freedoms we're allowed in Australia is the brakes. It has probably slightly bigger brakes than you would find on SA or SB logbook cars. And of course on the profile we're running a 60 profile tyre, but apart from that it is pretty well as you would have found the car back in '58. The modifications, the engine is an aluminium head, Webbers, roller cam, roller rockers, steel crank.
Jackson. I live in Sydney for half the year and Melbourne for the other half of the year. This is a 1964 Healey, which was delivered to a US serviceman in France, and I gathered he was based somewhere in Germany, so the car spent the first 4 or 5 years in Europe, and then it was brought to California, where it spent a considerable number of years. It was purchased by a friend of mine out of the front garden of this particular person in California, where it had been residing for some time, having pot plants growing out of it and a waterfall positioned somewhere in the engine bay. It arrived in Australia on 2 pallets. My wife thought I'd bought 2 pallets of scrap metal. I must say it didn't look too good. The next couple of years we spent rebuilding it and trying to turn it back into what we thought was going to be a fairly competitive race car. My first meeting in 2000, I started at the back of the grid and finished at the back of the grid. By the time we've got to 2002, we gradually moved our way up the grid, and today we consistently finish at the right end of the grid. The car itself hasn't been overly modified. It's runs standard bore. It has the usual refinements that the Sebring type cars had of the period, triple Webers, and an alloy head, although it does have roller rockers and roller cam. The rest of the engine's pretty basic. We run a 10-to-1 compression ratio, and I run on what we call standard fuel. The rest of the car has stock shocks at the front, and I'm running telescopic shocks at the rear. There are very few other modifications. We just try and keep it nice and tight. And I must say I'm really pleased to be here, and we've been overwhelmed by the generosity of the American people, and a special thanks must go to Jeff Jonk and his family for all the organisation that they've put into it. Thank you indeed. Cheers.
I'll tell you, he must have been holding the sand in the bag all weekend long and waiting for the moment to
Yeah, I'm
stop
sure
it.
it's click the switch.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The awards, I didn't know this, but SVRA had some special awards minted for you all, or for some of the leaders. And what we're going to do first is let Jack, because he's a very busy man from SVRA, give out these awards. And it's my understanding, Jack gave my wife some of the tech stickers, so we got some extras that I didn't know about. So first of all, Jack, you want to stand up here?
Yeah. Okay,
go ahead and stretch, Jess.
First of all, we're going to give the awards for the race. So in the 6-cylinder class, third place was Richard Mayer. Richard?
Oh, yeah. Where's Richard Mayer? Oh, yeah.
Second place, Paul Freestone. First place, Peter Jackson. Okay, in the 4-cylinder class, John Asprey, third place.
Yeah.
Jim Smith, second place.
All right,
John McKay, first place.
Hey, waiters, please stay up here. We need to get a photo.
Okay, in the Sprite class, John Daniels, third place.
All right, John.
Larry Schaefer, second place. Buzz Merkelwitz, first place. And in the Healey Silverstone class, Alan Castlevine. Okay, now we've got blue medals for all the Australian cars, so all the Aussie drivers.
Okay, all the Australian drivers, SVRA's got some medals for you, so please come up and Jack, can you hand them out?
Each one of you.
All
the Australian drivers.
I'm the only Yank up here?
Yeah.
All the Australians in there.
Yeah, no, go.
It's a beer, but it's a
Okay, well, we're going to have Mike, who is the president of the Wisconsin chapter of the Austin Healey Club of America, come up and present the awards to you. I'm going to try to fumble my way through this. I hopefully did the math and everything correct. I just want to clarify or check something out. Buzz, you're running a 948, is that correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And Larry's running a 948, is that?
Yes.
Well, how come the 948s are finishing ahead of the 1275? Okay, that clarified that. Okay, Mike, if you want to stand up here, and can we have somebody bring the awards over and I'll try to sort them out. It would be 1 liter and under. Okay. All right. Okay, Sprites. I think I can do this. I didn't know we had second place. I'm sorry. Buzz. In the 1 liter and under Sprites. Got first place. Lawrence Schaefer, you're second place man. All right. Now look at this here just a second. Okay, number 4. I think I'm reading this right. Vars Smith, I think you're. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up. Yeah, you should probably do that. Okay, Jim Smith. Okay, where you at, Don? Oh, Don's 2B. Okay. No, Var Smith, you're second place man on the 104s. I think I got that right.
He's going this.
I promise I'll do better in the future. Okay. One C. Bruce Miles is the second place man. Oh yeah, Bruce from Australia. John Bauer is the first place man in the 1,300 sprites. Okay, now let's go to the 100.
Where's he at? Where's he at? Who's our first place guy?
This man on class 2A, which is just race prepared, is Var Smith.
Second place?
Okay, I'll break you over there. And first place man is our hardworking Jim Smith. Okay, we only have one placer in the race modified 104s. That is Don McKay from Australia. He took first. He's fast. Yeah, he's fast in that 104. All right.
Could I just say something? Thank you very much, everybody, for making the Australians feel welcome. Most of them are very shy and don't like talking, but so I've been elected to say a few words just very briefly. I'm going home tomorrow. I came over last Tuesday. I was picked up by a couple of great people, and Pat and Bob Brown. I just want to thank you especially. They've put me up in their house. They hid their guns. They made me feel welcome. I actually, when I left on Tuesday, I told my wife I was going down to the drugstore for a quart of milk. And I don't think she would have missed me until Friday night, when I would have normally tapped her on the shoulder. And she usually says, yeah, I've got a headache, or it's not Saturday night. So probably Saturday night she might have noticed I wasn't there. Can I say one thing though? When I get back with this, she's going to know it's Saturday night all over again.
Okay, in the six-cylinder class, in the race prepared, second place man is Bob Dillon. Bob, are you here? Bob. Oh, they're up there? Okay, first place man is Bob Wagner. Bob, they're all up there. Okay, we'll go to, yeah, I guess so.
They're working on their cars, come on.
Okay, in the six-cylinder class, the race modified, second place man. Boy, you led the whole way. I don't know how Peter did this, but anyway, is Paul, is Paul Freestone is the second place man. First place man is Peter Jackson. He said he closed his eyes. Okay, then we have rare, unique, and specials. It's our own Ellen Casavant in 4A. Is the first place man. I love that Silverstone. And by the way, he's got another one, but this one's got a V8 in it. Yeah, so, yeah, just wait. Okay, and then in extreme modified, race prepared, and we don't know what to do with your class, is where you at? I had you here. Oh, Nick's leaving. Come on, Nick, there you are. Nick's, if you haven't seen Nick's car, he's got a beautiful, what we call it, nasty boy, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So, all right. Congratulations.
I'd just like to say thank you for letting me play with you guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys at Watkins Glen.
All right.
Good job. Good on you.
Again, thank you, Wisconsin.
Just one word. the Australians would all like to make an award to Jeff Jonk for fastest lap. Seeing as we haven't got one, we're all going to buy you a beer.
Hey, I tell you, if every race goes like that last one, we're going to have way too much fun. So, all right.
Wait until we'll buy you a beer and see how much fun you have.
Yeah. We got if you can find enough energy drivers, we got a group race this afternoon, and then it's on to Summit Point.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Wisconsin Club, again for putting us up and all of the efforts you've done.